The day Earth changed forever started like any other. People went about their lives, unaware that high above them, something extraordinary was happening. In the dark depths of space, a massive ship appeared near the moon. It was unlike anything humans had ever built. The ship was sleek, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Its sudden arrival set off alarms in space agencies around the world. At NASA headquarters, scientists and officials gathered in a frenzy. Screens lit up with images of the alien vessel. Director Sarah Chen stood at the center, her face a mix of awe and concern. "What are we looking at?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Dr. James Roberts, the lead astronomer, stepped forward. It's not one of ours. And it's not Russian or Chinese. This ship, it's not from Earth." The room fell silent. Years of wondering if we were alone in the universe had just been answered in the most dramatic way possible. Suddenly, every TV, radio, and electronic device on Earth crackled to life. A message, transmitted in perfect English and every other language on the planet, began to play. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Galactic Council, a union of civilizations spanning the cosmos. We have watched your progress for centuries, and now we extend our hand in friendship. You are not alone in the universe." The world stood still. In New York, crowds gathered in Times Square, their eyes fixed on the giant screens. In a small village in Africa, families huddled around a crackling radio. In Beijing, officials scrambled to formulate a response. Back at NASA, Director Chen was on a secure line with the president. "Ma'am, we need to respond. The whole world is watching." The president's voice was steady, but Chen could hear the tension. Tell them we're listening." As Chen relayed the message, the alien ship began to descend. It moved with impossible grace, defying everything humans knew about physics. The ship came to rest in a field just outside of Geneva, Switzerland, home to many international organizations. World leaders rushed to the site. Military forces from every nation surrounded the area, weapons ready but not aiming. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. A hatch on the ship opened, and out stepped beings that looked almost human, but not quite. They were tall, with skin that shimmered like the surface of their ship. Their eyes were large and full of wisdom. The leader of the aliens stepped forward. "I am Zarthen, High Counselor of the Galactic Federation. We have come to invite Earth to join our cosmic community." The UN Secretary General, flanked by other world leaders, approached cautiously. We welcome you to Earth. This is an historic moment for our people." Zarthen smiled, but there was something in his eyes that made some of the humans uneasy. "Indeed it is. But joining the Galactic Council comes with responsibilities. We have rules that all member planets must follow." The UN Secretary General nodded slowly. "Of course. We understand. What kind of rules are we talking about?" Zarthen's smile faded slightly. "For the safety of all, member planets must give up their military forces and weapons of mass destruction. The Council provides protection for all its members." A murmur ran through the crowd. Give up their militaries, their nuclear deterrence, the very things that had kept an uneasy peace on Earth for decades. The U.S. President stepped forward, her face a mask of diplomacy. "That's a significant request, High Counselor. Our people will need time to discuss this." Zarthen's expression hardened almost imperceptibly. "Of course. But know this, refusing to join the Council is not an option. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and unaligned planets often disappear." The threat, veiled as it was, hung in the air like a storm cloud. The human leaders exchanged glances, a mix of fear and determination in their eyes. As the aliens returned to their ship, promising to return for an answer in one Earth week, the leaders of humanity gathered in an emergency session. The future of Earth hung in the balance. Little did the Galactic Council know, they had just awakened a sleeping giant. Humanity, faced with an ultimatum, was about to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate the human spirit. The stage was set. The countdown had begun. Earth's response would shock the stars themselves. 1 week had passed since the Galactic Council's arrival. The world was in a state of nervous anticipation. Leaders from every nation had gathered in the United Nations headquarters in New York. The air was thick with tension as they waited for the aliens' return. Outside, crowds had gathered. Some held signs welcoming the aliens, while others protested against giving up Earth's independence. The whole world watched and waited. Suddenly, the sky darkened. The massive alien ship appeared, hovering over the city. People gasped and pointed as it descended, landing smoothly in Central Park. Inside the UN building, screens lit up. Zarthan's face appeared, his alien features now familiar but still unsettling. "Greetings, people of Earth," he said, his voice echoing through the chamber. "The time has come for your decision. Will you join the Galactic Council and enjoy the peace and prosperity it offers?" The UN Secretary-General stood, her face a mask of diplomacy. "High Counselor Zarthan, we thank you for this opportunity. However, we have concerns about your conditions." Zarthan's expression hardened. "You speak of the requirement to dismantle your military forces and surrender your nuclear weapons." "Yes," the Secretary-General replied. "Our military forces don't just fight wars. They also help in disasters, keep peace, and protect our people. And our nuclear technology isn't just for weapons. We use it for energy and medicine too." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. Zarthan's eyes narrowed. "These are excuses," he said coldly. "Primitive justifications for keeping the tools of destruction. The Council's decision is final. Disarm or face the consequences." The U.S. President stood up, her voice firm. "And what consequences would those be, High Counselor?" Zarthan's lips curled into a sneer. "Planets that refuse Council membership often fall victim to unfortunate accidents, asteroid impacts, solar flares. The universe can be a dangerous place for unprotected worlds." Gasps and angry shouts filled the room. The Russian president slammed his fist on the table. "This is not an invitation. It's a threat." Zarthan shrugged, unmoved by the outburst. "Call it what you will. The Council's will is absolute. You have 24 hours to begin disarming. If you refuse," he let the threat hang in the air. As the transmission ended, chaos erupted in the chamber. Leaders argued and shouted, fear and anger mixing in a volatile cocktail. In a small, secure room adjacent to the main chamber, key world leaders gathered. The U.S. President, her face grim, looked around at her colleagues. "We all know we can't accept these terms," she said. "But how do we fight something so far beyond our technology?" The Chinese premier nodded solemnly. "We cannot. But perhaps we can trick them." Eyes turned to him as he continued. "We pretend to comply. Show them old weapons being dismantled. But in secret, we prepare." The Russian president leaned forward, intrigued. "Prepare how? What can we do against such power?" A smile crept across the Chinese premier's face. "We have brilliant minds. Give them a common enemy, a deadline, and unlimited resources. Who knows what they might create?" The plan was risky, but it was the only option they had. As the leaders dispersed to set things in motion, the U.S. president made one last call. In a top-secret facility deep underground, Dr. Elena Rodriguez answered her phone. Her eyes widened as she listened. "You want us to do what?" She gasped. "But that's impossible. We'd need a technological miracle." The president's voice was steel. "Then give us a miracle, Doctor. The fate of our world depends on it." As Elena hung up, her mind was already racing. She looked around at her team of scientists and engineers, the brightest minds on the planet. "Listen up, everyone," she called out. "We've got work to do. The future of humanity is in our hands." As the scientists huddled together, beginning to brainstorm ideas that defied conventional physics, the alien ship loomed over New York. Zarthan watched the city below, unaware that his ultimatum had just lit the fuse on humanity's greatest leap forward. The clock was ticking. Earth had 24 hours to convince the Galactic Council they were complying, and in secret, they had to create weapons that could challenge the stars themselves. The greatest underdog story in galactic history was about to unfold. As the world watched, Earth seemed to comply with the Galactic Council's demands. Old tanks were crushed on live TV. Warships were scuttled in deep ocean trenches. Missiles were dismantled, their parts scattered and destroyed. Zarthan and his alien observers nodded in approval, believing their ultimatum had cowed humanity into submission. But deep beneath the Earth's surface, in hidden bunkers and secret labs, a different story was unfolding. In a vast underground facility, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a group of the world's most brilliant scientists and engineers. The room hummed with nervous energy. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elena began, her voice echoing in the cavernous space, "we have 1 week to do the impossible. We need to create weapons and defenses that can challenge a spacefaring civilization." A murmur ran through the crowd. It seemed an impossible task. But as Elena continued speaking, a fire lit in the eyes of the assembled geniuses. "We're not bound by old rules anymore," she said. "Every crazy idea, every wild theory, it's all on the table. Let's show the galaxy what human ingenuity can do." The room erupted in activity. Whiteboards filled with equations, 3D printers whirred to life, creating prototypes of unimaginable devices. Quantum computers crunched numbers at mind-boggling speeds. In one corner, a team worked on a gravity manipulation device. If they could control gravity, they could create shields impenetrable to any known weapon. Across the room, another group focused on faster-than-light communication. If they could warn their ships instantly, no matter the distance, they'd have an unbeatable tactical advantage. Elena moved from team to team, offering encouragement and ideas. Her mind raced with the possibilities. What if we could harness dark energy? She mused to a group working on power sources. Their eyes widened at the implications. Meanwhile, above ground, the deception continued. World leaders put on a show of cooperation for their alien visitors. Old military bases were converted into parks and schools. But beneath each one, new, high-tech facilities were being built at breakneck speed. In orbit, obsolete satellites were removed. But for each one taken down, 2 microscopic, super-advanced ones took its place, invisible to the alien sensors. As the week progressed, breakthroughs came at an astonishing pace. Technologies that should have taken decades to develop were created in days. The pressure of extinction pushed human minds to their limits and beyond. On the 5th day, a young physicist named Raj burst into Elena's office, his eyes wild with excitement. "Dr. Rodriguez, we've done it. We've cracked quantum entanglement on a macro scale." Elena's jaw dropped. "Are you serious? Show me." Raj led her to a lab where 2 large spheres sat on pedestals. He tapped a button on one, and instantly the other lit up. Instant communication and power transfer. Across any distance, Raj explained, beaming. "We can coordinate our defenses faster than they can blink." Elena felt a surge of hope. They were making progress, but would it be enough? On the other side of the facility, a weapons test was underway. A beam of concentrated dark energy lanced out, slicing through foot-thick alien alloy like it was butter. The scientists cheered. As the week neared its end, Elena gathered the teams for a final briefing. The room was filled with hopeful tension. "We've achieved more in 7 days than humanity has in the last century," Elena said, her voice filled with pride. "But tomorrow, we face our greatest test. The Council returns for final inspection. Our leaders will reveal our deception and our defiance." She paused, looking at each face in the room. "Whatever happens next, know that you've given humanity a fighting chance. You are the unsung heroes of Earth." As Elena finished speaking, an alarm blared. A voice came over the intercom. "The alien ship has been detected entering the solar system. They're ahead of schedule. ETA, 2 hours. The room froze. They were out of time. Humanity's moment of truth had arrived sooner than expected. Elena took a deep breath. This is it, people. Get our weapons and defenses deployed. Now. As the facility erupted into frenzied action, Elena couldn't help but wonder, had they done enough? In just a few hours, they would find out if humanity's secret preparations would be enough to shock the Galactic Council and secure Earth's freedom. The final confrontation was about to begin. The massive Galactic Council ship loomed over New York City once again. This time, instead of awe, the sight filled people with dread and determination. The moment of truth had arrived. In the United Nations building, world leaders gathered. They wore grim expressions, knowing the deception was about to end. The U.S. President stood at the center, a small device hidden in her hand, Earth's secret weapon. Zarthan's hologram appeared, his alien features twisted in a smug smile. Greetings, humans. We have returned to oversee the final stages of your disarmament. Are you prepared to fully join the Galactic Council? The President stepped forward, her voice steady. High Counselor Zarthan, on behalf of Earth, I have an answer for you. She paused, taking a deep breath. The answer is no. Zarthan's smile vanished. What? You dare defy the Council? We do more than defy, the President said. We reject your ultimatum entirely. Earth will not surrender its independence or its right to self-defense. Rage contorted Zarthan's features. Foolish primitives. You have sealed your fate. Prepare to. Suddenly, Zarthan's image flickered and vanished. In orbit, Earth's new quantum communication network had jammed the alien signals. Alarms blared in the alien ship. Zarthan barked orders, his composure shattered. Launch the attack. Show these savages the consequences of defying the Council. As the alien ship prepared to fire, something unexpected happened. A shimmering energy field enveloped the Earth, the product of the gravity manipulation technology Earth's scientists had developed. The aliens fired their most powerful weapons, beams of energy that could shatter planets lanced towards Earth. But when they hit the shield, they simply dissipated. In his ship, Zarthan stared in disbelief. Impossible. How can they have such technology? On the ground, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched from a control center, her heart pounding. The shield is holding, she shouted. Prepare our counterattack. Around the world, hidden installations hummed to life. Weapons powered by dark energy, more advanced than anything the Galactic Council had seen, took aim at the alien ship. In New York, the President held up the device in her hand. This is for Earth, she said, and pressed the button. Beams of concentrated dark energy shot from multiple points around the globe, converging on the alien ship. The massive vessel shuddered under the assault, its own shields failing under the onslaught of technology it had never encountered. Zarthan's voice crackled over the communications channels, panic evident in his tone. How is this possible? You were primitive. You had no defenses. The President's voice was cold as she replied. You threatened our world, Zarthan. You should have known. Humanity doesn't take kindly to bullies. As the alien ship systems failed one by one, smaller Earth vessels, hidden in underground bases, launched into the sky. These ships, built with the new technology, easily outmaneuvered the confused alien fleet. In orbit, a space battle unlike anything in Earth's history unfolded. Human ships, piloted by brave volunteers trained in secret, darted between the lumbering alien vessels. They fired weapons that phased through alien shields, disabled engines with targeted gravitational pulses, and communicated instantly across vast distances. On the main alien ship, chaos reigned. Zarthan watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by a species he had dismissed as primitive just days ago. Retreat, he finally bellowed. Full retreat. As the alien ships fled, limping away from Earth, cheers erupted around the world. In every city, every village, humans celebrated their victory. Back in the UN, the President addressed the world. People of Earth, Today we have defended our home. We have shown the galaxy that humanity will not bow to threats or bullies, no matter how advanced they may seem. In the secret facility, Alina and her team of scientists watched the speech, tears of joy and pride in their eyes. They had done the impossible, advancing human technology by centuries in just a week. As the alien ships disappeared from Earth's sensors, humanity knew everything had changed. They were no longer alone in the universe, and they had proven themselves a force to be reckoned with. But this was just the beginning. The galaxy now knew about Earth, and Zarthan's defeat would have consequences. Humanity had won the battle, but the war for their place in the cosmos was just beginning. Earth had shocked the Galactic Council. Now, they had to be ready for what came next. News of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. On countless worlds, aliens of all shapes and sizes gathered around viewing screens, watching in disbelief as the footage of the battle played over and over. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, located on a massive space station at the heart of the galaxy, chaos reigned. Representatives from 1,000 worlds shouted and argued, their voices a cacophony of shock and confusion. High Counselor Zarthan stood before them, his once proud posture now slumped in defeat. I don't understand," he stammered. "They were primitive. They had no advanced technology. How could this happen?" A tall, spindly alien with glowing eyes stepped forward. "You underestimated them, Zarthan. We all did. These humans, they've done the impossible." On the other side of the chamber, a bulbous creature floated in a tank of green liquid. Its thoughts broadcast directly into the minds of the others. We must study them, learn from them. Such rapid advancement, it's unheard of. As the council debated, news continued to pour in from across the galaxy. Planets that had long chafed under the council's rule began to stir. If Earth could stand up to the council, why couldn't they? Back on Earth, humanity was coming to terms with its new place in the cosmic order. In the White House Situation Room, the U.S. President met with world leaders and top scientists. Dr. Elena Rodriguez gave her report. "The technology we developed to fight the Council, it's beyond anything we thought possible. We're just beginning to understand its potential." The Chinese premier leaned forward. "And what of the aliens? Will they return?" The president's face was grim. "We have to assume they will. But next time, we'll be ready." As if on cue, a junior officer burst into the room. "Madam President, we're detecting multiple ships entering the solar system." Tension filled the air. Had the council returned so soon for revenge? But as the images came up on the screen, they saw these ships were different. Smaller, sleeker, and definitely not council vessels. A transmission came through. On the screen appeared a humanoid alien with blue skin and silver eyes. "People of Earth," the alien said, its voice filled with awe. "I am Captain Zira of the Free Worlds Alliance. We come in peace and in hope." The room was silent for a moment before the president found her voice. "We welcome you, Captain Zira. What brings you to Earth?" Zira's expression was earnest. "You've done what no one thought possible. You stood up to the council and won. There are many in the galaxy who have long wished to break free from the council's control. We hoped you might be willing to ally with us." The implications were staggering. Earth, in one fell swoop, had not only defended itself, but had become a beacon of hope for oppressed worlds across the galaxy. As discussions with Captain Zira continued, more ships arrived. Representatives from dozens of alien races, all seeking alliance with Earth. Some offered technology, others promised resources. But all of them wanted the same thing: to learn the secret of Earth's incredible leap forward. In universities and research centers around the world, humans and aliens began to work side by side. The exchange of knowledge and ideas led to even more incredible breakthroughs. But not everyone in the galaxy was pleased. On dark, hidden worlds, those who had long benefited from the Council's iron-fisted rule began to plot. Earth had upset the balance of power, and they would not stand for it. And in the depths of space, the remnants of the Council fleet regrouped. Zarthan, stripped of his title but burning with revenge, began to gather allies of his own. Earth will pay for this humiliation, he snarled to his followers. We will show them the true might of the galaxy. As Earth celebrated its new alliances and reveled in its technological revolution, storm clouds were gathering on the cosmic horizon. The planet had shocked the galaxy with its response to the Council's threat, but the real test was yet to come. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars. Now, they had to prove they deserved it. 6 months had passed since Earth's stunning victory over the Galactic Council. The planet was a hive of activity, with alien ships coming and going daily. In the rebuilt United Nations headquarters, now expanded to accommodate extraterrestrial visitors, a historic meeting was about to begin. The U.S. President stood at the podium, facing an audience unlike any in human history. Delegates from Earth sat side by side with representatives from 100 alien worlds. Floating orbs live-streamed the event to trillions of beings across the galaxy. Today, the President began, her voice strong and clear. We gather to forge a new path for galactic cooperation. Earth extends its hand in friendship to all peaceful worlds. As she spoke, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride. The technology she and her team had developed had changed everything. Now, she advised world leaders on cosmic matters. The first to approach the podium was Captain Zira, her blue skin shimmering under the lights. The Free Worlds Alliance pledges its full support to Earth and its allies. Together, we will build a galaxy based on mutual respect and freedom. One by one, representatives from various worlds stepped up to pledge alliance or offer trade deals. Earth, once isolated, was now at the center of a new galactic order. But not all was smooth sailing. A reptilian alien, scales gleaming, slithered forward. The Draconian Empire watches Earth's rise with interest, it hissed. We hope you understand the responsibilities that come with such power. The implied threat wasn't lost on anyone. Elena leaned over to whisper to the President. The Draconians were close allies of the old Council. We need to watch them carefully. As negotiations continued, news came from the fringes of known space. The remnants of the Galactic Council fleet had been spotted, growing in number. Zarthan, it seemed, was not done with Earth. In a secure room adjacent to the main chamber, Earth's leaders met with their closest alien allies. The mood was tense. We have reports of Council loyalists arming themselves, Captain Zira said, her silver eyes filled with worry. Many fear Earth's rapid rise. They see you as a threat to the old order. The Chinese premier nodded gravely. And what of this Zarthan? Can he rally enough forces to threaten us again? An alien with crystalline skin sparkled as it spoke. Zarthan has been spreading lies, claiming Earth possesses galaxy-ending weapons. He's playing on fear to build his coalition. The President's face was stern. Then we must show the galaxy the truth. Earth doesn't seek to dominate, only to live in peace and protect itself. As they strategized, Dr. Rodriguez cleared her throat. There might be a way to do that, she said. All eyes turned to her. We've been working on a new technology. A galactic communication network that could broadcast the truth to every world simultaneously. The idea was met with excitement, but also caution. Such technology could also be used as a weapon in the wrong hands. As the conference drew to a close, Earth found itself in a position no one could have imagined just a year ago. It had allies across the stars, but also powerful enemies. It possessed technology that amazed even advanced races, but that same technology made others fear them. In his lab, a young scientist named Raj worked late into the night. The quantum entanglement technology he had helped develop was evolving in ways he never expected. As he watched particles dance across his screen, a chill ran down his spine. Had they unlocked something too powerful to control? Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the galaxy, Zarthan stood on the bridge of his new flagship, a massive weapon reverse-engineered from scavenged Earth technology, hummed ominously. Soon, he growled, the galaxy will see the true face of these human savages, and the Council will rise again. As Earth celebrated its new place in the cosmic community, storm clouds gathered. The planet had shocked the Galactic Council and reshaped the balance of power. But the true test of humanity's wisdom, strength, and unity was yet to come. The next chapter in Earth's galactic adventure was about to begin, and the entire universe waited with bated breath to see what this young, ambitious species would do next. 5 years had passed since Earth's shocking victory over the Galactic Council. The planet, once a barely noticed speck in the cosmic arena, now stood as a shining beacon of innovation and hope across the galaxy. On a clear night, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, Earth's first major off-world colony. The station orbited Jupiter, a testament to humanity's rapid technological advancement. As she gazed at the stars, Elena reflected on how much had changed. Earth had become a melting pot of galactic cultures. In cities around the world, humans walked side by side with aliens of all shapes and sizes. The exchange of knowledge and ideas had propelled human society forward at an unprecedented rate. Raj, now head of Earth's quantum communications network, appeared beside Elena. "Beautiful view, isn't it?" he said, gesturing at the starscape before them. Elena nodded. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." Their peaceful moment was interrupted by an urgent beep from their communicators. It was the President of the United Earth Government, calling an emergency meeting. In the station's conference room, holographic projections of world leaders and alien allies flickered to life. The President's face was grim. "We've received word," she began, "that Zarthan's forces are on the move. They've attacked 3 of our allied worlds in the past week." The room erupted in concerned murmurs. Captain Zira, now Earth's closest alien ally, spoke up. "My sources say he's built a super weapon using stolen Earth technology. He plans to make an example of us." The Chinese premier's hologram leaned forward. "Then we must strike first. Show the galaxy that Earth is not to be trifled with." But Elena shook her head. "No. That's exactly what Zarthan wants. He's trying to prove to the galaxy that we're as violent and dangerous as he's been claiming." The President nodded. "Dr. Rodriguez is right. We need a solution that doesn't involve more bloodshed. We didn't come this far to become the very thing we fought against." As the leaders debated, Raj's eyes lit up with an idea. "What if," he said slowly, "we could use the quantum network not just to communicate, but to connect?" All eyes turned to him as he explained his plan. It was audacious, borderline impossible, but if it worked. Weeks later, as Zarthan's fleet approached Earth, ready to unleash its superweapon, humanity unveiled its response. It wasn't a weapon or a shield. It was an invitation. Using the advanced quantum network, Earth broadcast a signal across the galaxy. But this was no ordinary transmission. Anyone who tuned in found themselves experiencing life on Earth firsthand. They could see through the eyes of humans and Earth's alien residents, feel what they felt, understand their hopes and fears. Countless beings across the galaxy suddenly found themselves walking in the shoes of those they had been taught to fear or hate. They saw humans not as a threat, but as a young, ambitious species reaching out to the stars with hope and determination. As Zarthan prepared to fire his weapon, his own crew hesitated. Many of them had experienced the broadcast, and they could no longer see Earth as the enemy. In a final, desperate move, Zarthan tried to launch the attack himself, but at the crucial moment, his ship's systems locked up. On the bridge, a hologram of Raj appeared, smiling. "A little gift from Earth," he said. "We call it a computer virus. You might want to update your firewalls." Across the galaxy, the response was overwhelming. Worlds that had been hesitant to ally with Earth now reached out in friendship. The few remaining Council loyalists found their support crumbling as the truth spread. In the aftermath, Earth didn't seek punishment for its former enemies. Instead, it extended an offer of reconciliation. Zarthan and his followers were given the chance to experience life on Earth, to understand the species they had once dismissed as primitive. As the dust settled, humanity found itself at the forefront of a new galactic age. Earth's unique blend of innovation, adaptability, and empathy had not only saved it from destruction, but had reshaped the very fabric of galactic society. On Harmony Station, Helena and Raj watched as ships from 100 worlds docked, bringing new ideas, new challenges, and new friends. "So," Raj said with a grin, "what's next for humanity?" Helena laughed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "The galaxy's a big place. Raj, I'd say we're just getting started." As Earth celebrated its new era of peace and discovery, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and wonders beyond imagination. But one thing was clear: humanity was ready for whatever the cosmos had in store.